Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Hello if you are new here, and hello if you are not. Let's take a moment at the beginning of the video here to celebrate the fact that we hit 1,000 subscribers. I want to thank everyone so much for being here. It means so much to me, and I am so excited to be able to achieve this milestone with you. If you are not subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Click the button down below. Now let's talk about today's video. Now a little over a month ago, I posted this video right here explaining how I'm using ChatGPT to grow and build my business in 2023. Since then, I have continued to use ChatGPT in many different ways, and it has not disappointed me yet. While ChatGPT does have a lot of technical applications for business, I am not an expert in that kind of thing, and so I don't want to butcher the process, and instead I'm going to link a list of different creators who have done that topic justice that you can learn from in hopes of helping to build the tech side of your business using ChatGPT. Today, however, I am going to go through some of the ways that I've been using ChatGPT to deal with the most annoying and tedious parts of my business. From responding to people's cold messages, to writing my weekly email newsletter, to even the descriptions and titles on my YouTube videos. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. ChatGPT has quickly become a regular resource in my list of tools that I use in my business, and I can't wait to show you real life examples in this video. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. Okay, I first just want to say that I'm so sorry if you can hear like grunting noises in the background. Somebody just ate their breakfast and is just licking their face. So bear with me. Okay, one little quick aside I did want to add is that I have labeled the cards in this video very direct so that they explain exactly what they are, because I realize some people have certain things that they use in their business and things that they don't, or things that I use that they wouldn't. Like you might have an email list but not a YouTube channel, or vice versa. That way you can kind of just like skip ahead to the thing that is relevant to you. Okay, so first up, I want to talk about cold messages because, oh my God, this all started when one day in January, I woke up to not one, not two, but 10 cold messages in my DMs on Instagram. And honestly, 99% of the time, I just delete these cold messages because it's very obvious as a consumer that this person has just copied and pasted this message hundreds, if not thousands of times in hopes that someone eventually is going to bite. But this one day, something inside me just snapped and I just couldn't take it anymore. And I like to think that I'm generally speaking a pretty funny person, but one thing I am not is very witty, like at all. But you know who is witty? The little algorithm inside ChatGPT who has had the time to scour the entire internet and compile everything it has ever read into the cleverest of responses. That little algorithm is funny. So anyways, my friend and I, we were talking back in January about how to respond to these cold messages. Hi, buddy. Hi, sweet baby. And it was in this conversation that I decided I was going to ask ChatGPT to tell me how to respond to these people. And so here's how it went. So basically I went in and I asked ChatGPT to write the response to a cold pitch email from someone asking me to purchase their services but declining their offer. And ChatGPT went ahead and generated that response. So next I asked it to add the fact that I can tell this person has no idea what my business is, because what we see all too often is people cold pitching you, offering you a service for something that is completely irrelevant to whatever it is that you do. And I get this all the time with people asking me to grow my coaching business when I am not a business coach. So again, the AI generated a response, and then I asked it to add in a comment about how cold pitching is very ineffective. And again, it generated the response, and I asked it this time to make it sassy, because previously when I asked it to make it sarcastic, it told me it wasn't allowed to do that. And again, the AI is telling me it's not allowed to do that. So they must have done some sort of update with the AI between January and now when I'm filming this video late February. Because when I did this in January, it actually generated a very hilarious sarcastic response, which I will share with you at the end of this segment. So my workaround to that was instead to ask the AI to make the response funny. And so here's the response that ChatGPT came up with. Dear blank, thank you for the email and for the generous offer to purchase your services. I was thrilled to see your email in my inbox, especially since I was just about to order a batch of these I Love Cold Pitches t-shirts. Kidding, of course. Unfortunately, I must decline your offer at this time. While I appreciate your persistence and tenacity, cold pitching is about as effective as trying to sell ice to an Eskimo. Again, just kidding. I'm sure your services are great, but they don't align with my current needs. Please don't take this personally and keep up the good work. I'm sure your services will be a great fit for someone else. Best regards, your name. Again, so like I previously stated, when I originally did this back in January, I was able to get the AI to give me a very sarcastic response, which is even better than the funny one that they just generated. So I'll go ahead and read that one to you as well. So this response reads, "Oh wow, thank you for reaching out to me about your services. I can tell you've put a lot of thought and research into understanding my business and what we do. Or perhaps not. I mean, why else would you be offering me something completely unrelated to my industry? But unfortunately, I'm going to have to decline your offer. As much as I would love to throw money at a problem that has nothing to do with me, my no unnecessary expenses policy is just too strict. By the way, cold pitching is often ineffective, and I would suggest you reevaluate your sales strategy. But don't let that discourage you. Please feel free to reach out again in future when you have a better understanding of what my business is and what we do. Thanks for your time." I just kind of thought this was a funny way to use ChatGPT, especially if you are someone like me and maybe can't necessarily come up with something witty on your own. I don't use it often, but on days when I'm feeling a little bit spicy, I definitely do. Okay, this next application is maybe a little bit more practical, but it's actually saved me so much time every week working on my email list. So I have a newsletter that I send out to my email list every Friday at 7 a.m. PST. If you're in my little internet community and you've downloaded my small business checklist, you are likely on the list of people who receive that email. Essentially, each week I send out an email newsletter that gives you tips to grow your small business or shares stories about what it's like to be a business owner in Canada. And typically I was spending anywhere from 30 minutes to over an hour every week writing that newsletter. And thankfully, due to ChatGPT, I've been able to narrow that down to under 30 minutes. So bear with me as I'm going to try and make this as uncomplicated as possible when I explain it. And part of this I actually learned from watching a video done by my friend Erin over at Ecom Era. I will link her profile in the description. But basically, you can train the AI to not only write things for you, but to understand your style of writing and speech, and then use that to write emails for you. So here's what I did. Basically, I went on ChatGPT and I told the AI that I was going to share some email copy with them to allow them to understand my writing style and my tone of voice. And so basically what I did was I went into my email service platform and I started copying and pasting different emails that I've sent over the course of the past year. Once I sent about 5 or 6 emails, I felt that the AI probably had a pretty good understanding of what my tone and writing style was like. So what I then did next was went into ChatGPT and said, now using these emails as reference for my tone of voice, write an email based on this YouTube video script. And so if you didn't know this, I actually script out all of my YouTube videos pretty much verbatim. So in doing that, I actually have a word-by-word script that talks about everything that I share in my YouTube video. So essentially, my purpose here was to train the AI to understand how I talk in an email setting, take the content that I actually created for my YouTube channel, and then turn it into an email in that style. And so as you can see here, the AI simply takes that YouTube script and then turns it into an email. And again, like I mentioned in the first video about ChatGPT, which if you haven't watched, I will link it in the description of this video, I don't use the answers it gives me verbatim. Sure, it writes me an email, but I'm not just gonna copy and paste that into my email platform. Although I could, because all it's doing is taking my actual words from my YouTube video that I wrote and then turning it into an email. I personally just don't always love the results that it gives you. Basically, the purpose of this is to allow the AI to help me structure how I should write the email. Because usually my biggest struggle with any kind of content, whether it's email marketing, TikTok, Instagram, is knowing where to even get started. And so now that I have this structure provided by the AI with the content that I actually wrote myself, I'm able to add my own little spice, my own little sparkle, and bam, it's done. And again, this process has allowed me to take my email marketing from taking over an hour to less than 30 minutes. Like for example, a couple weeks ago, I forgot to write my newsletter on the Thursday before the day that it was going out. And I had to wake up at 6:30 a.m. I used ChatGPT to help me kind of get the idea based on the YouTube script that I had recorded that week. And I was able to get that email sent out by 7 a.m. Like, I literally couldn't believe it. Thank you so much, ChatGPT. Okay, so last thing that I'll touch on in this video, which might not be relevant to you if you don't have a YouTube channel, but it could potentially be useful for even writing things like blog posts, product descriptions, sales pages, and more, is utilizing ChatGPT to create the copy, the headlines, the titles, the descriptions for your YouTube content. So basically all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into ChatGPT and ask it to write 10 titles for a YouTube video based on this script. And again, I'm just pasting the script of this YouTube video that you're watching right now, actually. So ChatGPT will go ahead and generate those titles. And then depending what it comes up with, sometimes I will ask it to make the titles dramatic and see if it comes up with any other answers. And then from this list, I will sometimes literally choose one of the answers it gives me, or again, kind of take different answers that it's giving me and piece together a title that I think would resonate with my audience. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and prompt it to, using the same script, go ahead and generate a description for the video. And then again, using the response that it generates, I will take this description and kind of tweak it to suit my needs. I generally don't like to post a description that's super long, and I find a lot of the times ChatGPT will generate something that's upwards of 7, 8, 9 sentences long. So I'll typically shorten it to something that's more to like 3 to 4 sentences. But again, I think this is just a really great opportunity to overcome some of that writer's block and give you a sense of how to structure an appropriate description. And of course, if there are certain keywords that you want to include in that description, you can always prompt the AI to include those in the description. So in this example, I asked it to please ensure to include the keywords artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, and efficient business. And once again, the AI has generated the following response, which, as you can see on the screen, is exceptionally long, and I would definitely edit that down to something more manageable. All that to say, I hope that these tips and tricks that I showed you today were helpful. If there's anything in particular that you want me to show you how to do on ChatGPT, you can let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. As always, I encourage you to follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, where I share free small business tips every single day. And before we sign off here, I will leave you with this video right here.